Hello. As I said earlier, my name is Michelle Schaefer, and I'm a senior consultant at AMBIT Energy. I want to thank you for getting on this great call to prepare your upcoming AMBIT week. We believe that the silver bullet for this business is to have structure in your week where you spend 30 to 45 minutes a day doing the simple things we need to do. So have your top 10 names ready, your calendars open, and a pen and paper at hand so you can prepare your week right along with us. This is an interactive call. We want you to participate while Richard is working with his new victim. And real quickly, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our host. If you're not familiar with Richard or don't know him, he's an executive consultant in the business. He is a 5-star trip earner. And I say earner because you don't win those. You have to earn your way onto those, and they're a fantastic trip. And you get to be one of 20 out of the entire company of about 350,000 people that get to go on that trip. He is also a business owner. He owns several Dickey's barbecue restaurants. He's a musician. He has a music box company, and he has brought us this fantastic purge call. So without further ado, Mr. Richard Laidler. Richard, are you there?
Hello, my lovely. Can you hear me?
I can.
Fantastic. I love it when technology works. Well, hello, everybody. How are you all doing on this wonderful Sunday evening? It's dark already. Goodness me, winter is rolling on. Santa will be coming around the corner any time soon, jangling his bells on the way. Just be careful the way I say that. How is everybody doing? Thank you very much for everybody taking the time out to come on to the Purge call, and congratulate yourself as well for taking the time out to plan your week. As Michelle was saying quite eloquently, we do believe that whilst there are many silver bullets in this business, this is the silver bullet, purely because in business, you know, it's great to be in touch with your why. It's great to be a great inviter. It's great to be a great presenter. But I know lots of people with incredible whys who've quit the business. I know fantastic presenters, and one in particular I can think in mind who's one of the best presenters I've ever seen a few years back has quit the business. But all the people I know in the business who've had a system, either intentionally or just unintentionally, or just doing it every day just through pure habit, like Chris Atkinson when he first started. He didn't have a real structure other than he said, I'm going to call his upline Steve Thompson every day. He unwittingly put a perfect structure in his business. Everybody I know who's put a structure in their business has had success with this business, either making a few hundred, making a few thousand, or making tens of thousands or more. We truly believe that structure trumps them all, because, and I was thinking about this earlier on today, network marketing for some reason is treated differently than other traditional businesses or jobs. And for some reason, because it's treated differently and not treated with the respect you treat your job and a traditional business, then they blame the company. You know, a lot of people start a network marketing business, and we're talking about, you know, AMBIT as well as our competition, not competition, but other network marketing companies. And for some reason, the business doesn't work out, and their automatic default is to blame the product, or to blame the business, or to blame the industry. Those things don't work. Well, there have been some dodgy network marketing companies in the past, but most are legitimate. And those who are members of the DSA are totally legitimate. The DSA is the watchdog for our industry. And this is basically it. If in a traditional business it didn't have any structure, it would fail. If in your job you didn't have structure, you would fail or be fired. Why then is network marketing treated any differently? And I know I'm sounding like an old playing record. We do have some new people on the call, so it'll be all new to them. And that sounds really. A lot of you will have heard this before, but repetition is what people need to hear, because we need to treat our AMBIT business with the same respect as we treat our job. Just because you are your own boss, that it doesn't mean as your own boss you can let yourself not turn up for work, or just turn up when you fancy. Same with your current job. Same with a traditional business. Same with a network marketing company. Same with your AMBIT business. So get over it. That flexible schedule you were promised at the business presentation is not no schedule, it's a flexible schedule, in that it means that someone else isn't setting it for you, so you have to. Because if you don't, then there's no schedule. A lot of people see that, flexible schedule means, no schedule. No, it doesn't. It means you set your schedule, but it better be there, because if it's not, you're not going to reach your goals in any way. So give your AMBIT business the same respect as you give your job or your traditional business. So set yourself a structure for the week, just like you do for in your job. You don't even have to bother doing it. You know you've got to be there at 9 o'clock. You know your lunch is at between 12 and 1, and you've got to leave at 5 or 5:30. Or for those of you who are as hardworking as Executive Manny Salazar, who's on the call right now, then the clock never stops because you're constantly working. And he still finds time, by the way, to run an extremely executive consultant business. So he's a classic example of how you can find time within a busy structure. That's what this call is all about. And come on, let's get real as well. We're only talking about 30 to 60 minutes a day. 30 to 60 minutes a day. So when I'm talking about structure and comparing it to your job, I'm not saying it's as much work as your job. No, it's just that you apply the structure to it and discipline to it. You're applying it to 30 or 60 minutes, not 8 hours. That's all I'm saying. And so that's what this call is all about. For those of you who've heard this call before, you know that what I do is I recruit a victim, and that's a very kind, gentle use of that particular word. I recruit a victim who I'm going to work with during the week. Sometimes it's my team. Most of the time it's not. About 90% of the time it's someone that I've met through all the business presentations that I've been to, and someone who's come up to me and said, hey, can I be your victim? Or don't ever pick me as a victim. And then I'll call them and say, come on, you got to go. I got to take them out of their comfort zone, because when they're saying don't pick me as a victim, I know they really mean, come on, use me as a victim. And so what I do is I will work with that consultant. We will work with, first of all, I'm assuming that a written list is created already. Everybody on this call understands the value of a written list, and you need to have one. It's the inventory for your business, just as the freezer is the inventory for my restaurants. We work with that list. That list has already been scored using the Erica system. And for those who want to learn how to build a written list and how to score using the Erica system, there's a training which Michelle will, actually, no, not on this call. She won't be mentioning it on this particular call, but I will at the end of the call. We've got a training coming up on November the 5th, which is a training covered by most of the ECs in the area. We're going to train you on how to build a great business. And in my particular area where they allow me up on stage, which is a dangerous thing with this English mouth on me, I have to be careful the way what I say up there. But when I'm up there, I'll teach you how to create a list and how to score it using the Erica system. For those of you on the call who don't know what I'm talking about, come to the training on November the 5th. And for those of you who are out of state, then speak to your upline, and they will know what an Erica system is. It's also called Prime as well. It's just an acronym for you being able to score the people in your list. What that does is it puts the list where all the cream, all the good people will slowly rise to the top. And then on this call, and what we're going to do today, and this is part one, this is part of 2 Sundays. We do one this Sunday, and we'll do one the following Sunday with the same victim, where we go through our week and we purge our list, hence why it's called the Sunday Purge Call. But what we'll do today is we'll pull the top 10 names from that written list. So they'll have the list of 200 names. We'll pick the top 10 that have been scored because of the Erica system. And then between the two of us, we will create the perfect invites for each and every one of those people, because I do not believe that one invite fits all. I don't think speaking to an 18-year-old straight out of school is the same as speaking to grandma who's just finished an afternoon at her bridge club. I think people need to be invited in a different way. I'm also of the mindset that network marketing, especially in our AMBIT business, does not have to be a numbers game anymore. I truly believe on the people we bring in, we give them the time and effort to make sure that everyone who comes in has a good chance to build the business. And we work on the principle of qualifying 3 people, which is you getting started, bringing 3 new consultants in the business, and getting them qualified with a couple of customers each. A very achievable target for anyone who comes into the business. So you're brand new in the business. We get you a couple of customers so you're qualified. We help you find 3 people who are sick and tired of their jobs or whatever. As consultants, help them get their 2 customers and qualified as well. And that's your section done. Then what we're going to do is teach you how to duplicate the same thing to your 3. So your 3 people are getting themselves qualified and getting their 3. And then we'll teach them to do the same and then to do the same. And we repeat and repeat down 7 levels. And so that's the principle behind what we do today, is we're working on spending time and effort with 10 names, with the right invites, with patience, with maturity, without building the business just going out there like crazy. We build it carefully and properly so we have good, solid people in our business, because we only need 3. We only need 3. We're not going out there and trying to recruit, 100 people. In fact, I used the analogy the other day at the training. If I was recruiting cooks for my kitchen at the Dickey's Barbecue, would I go out there and just basically randomly go out there and pick 50 people, anybody I can find, pull them in a room, and then say, okay, there's the cooker, there's the instruction manual, and see where the rock stars come out? Of course not. So why is AMBIT any different? What I would do is I would find the right people, I would interview those particular people and bring them into the business. I'd interview more than 3 people, of course, but I would get to those 3. But I wouldn't just bring a whole bunch in with the same invite and see who's my rock star. No. I would train them. I would get them into the kitchen. I'd give them a little bit of training, and they just need to be good enough. If you're a rock star in AMBIT, awesome. But you don't need to be one. All you need to do is get your 3. Okay, so that's what we do in this call. We have our written list with our victims' written list. It's scored using the Erica system. We pull the top 10 names down, and we create the perfect invites for those top 10 names. And what I need you guys to do, all you lovely chaps and chapasses out there listening to me, I need you to do the same thing alongside what I'm doing. Look at your list, look at your top 10 names, and if I'm, say, for example, chatting with my victim today and we have a coworker who's got a couple of kids and she's single and blah, blah, and it suits one of the people in your top 10 list, copy the invite. Just use the same invite. It's really simple. We always follow the same rules to build that invite, and then we're good to go. And then what we do is once we've got our top 10 names down, then myself and my victim, we just we plan 2 calls a day, 2 for Monday, 2 for Tuesday, 2 for Wednesday, 2 for Thursday, 2 for Friday. And those 2 calls will hopefully turn into invites. If we don't get 2 invites done, we may do more than 2 calls. So if we call someone and get a voicemail, that's not a call. It is a call, but it's not an invite. We want to try and get 2 invites a day. That's why we have 10 names ready at the beginning of the week. So that's what happens. At the end of this call, my victim will have all her names done, all the invites done, and on Monday morning she can sit in the car ready to drive to a busy day at work, knowing who she's going to call, what she's going to say, when she's going to call them, and when she's going to call me on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for an accountability call. That's what we do. That's what I need you guys to do along with me. And with that, I am going to bring on my victim for the next couple of weeks. And I got to know this lady just recently, and already I'm in love with her. She's just perfect and totally lovely. She's very hardworking. She's already a senior consultant in the business. And I want to get on the call real quickly so we have as much time as possible to talk about the invites. So I'd like to introduce senior consultant Kristi Meck. Are you there, Kristi?
I am here. Can you hear me, Richard?
Fantastic. Yes, I love how technology works.
I know, right?
You introduced me. I know, that's great. I love it. Okay, well, I've kind of done an introduction. I'm sure you were listening in as to what we do on this call. And I know that you've got a few things prepared for me. But and I would ask you, if you wouldn't mind, to be quite succinct in this first part. I'd like everybody just to know a little bit about who you are. If you could kind of use like 60 seconds or so just to kind of let everybody know who you are, maybe kind of what age group you're in, kind of what you do for a living so we can kind of get a feel for where you are. And I was very gentle about the age group you're in. If it's a guy, I'd say, how old are you? Oh, how old are you? But if it's a lady, you never ask a lady. My mum will be giving me so much trouble after this call otherwise. So, Kristi, why don't you tell us a little bit just about who you are?
Okay. Well, I am a senior consultant. Obviously, I bring a level of maturity to the table. Let's say I'm a half-time here in my life. I have a teaching certificate by vocation. I have managed classrooms. I have managed offices. I have managed hotels. I managed geriatric care, took care of one or both of my parents for almost 5.5 years, and homeschooled my daughter during most of that time. So I know what it's like to have a full plate, and I know what it's like to work hard. And right now I am super excited to be your victim for these next couple of weeks, Richard. I said to you as we were chatting today, I literally said out loud as I walked out of church today. Church was just fabulous. I literally said, "This is the week. This is the week that change is going to happen. That big things are going to happen." And so I don't think it's a coincidence. I just think it's all planned and it's all where it should be. So I'm very excited about this. I'm a little nervous, but you know what? I'm always up for a new adventure, and I don't mind working hard as long as I have a path to follow. I can do pretty much anything at this point.
Cool. Well, I'll tell you, it wasn't actually a coincidence. I got a call from the big guy upstairs. He said he received the prayer loud and clear on the switchboard. Reception had put it through to him, and he said, "I need to call Richard's direct line right now." And he called me, said, "Okay, Kristi Meck, this is her week." I'm like, "Dude, I'm on. Let's go."
All right. Well, good thing we're both plugged in then, right?
Yes, we are. And with you being as busy as you are with all of your commitments in family, then the structure is so very important. Otherwise, it's so easy to not find the time to do your business. It's so easy to say, "Oh, well, something else will get in the way," where you are accountable to, right?
Right. And I have my calendar out, and I have blocked out 1 hour of time on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and 2 hours of time on Tuesday, because I have a little more time on Tuesday, for my purge calls. And my goal is to do more than 10 this week. So I know 10 is the minimum, but my goal is to do more than 10. So that's where I am right now.
And that's exactly what Dana did when we were working with him. We had a fantastic week with him. He was saying that it was the best week he'd ever had. And it was really nothing to do with me. It was to do with the effort that he put into it and making sure that he had to have the calls done because I was right there. So,
right.
Good deal. That's fantastic. So, yeah, you're quite right that what we set on this call is the minimum that you'll need to do to build a business. If you want to do more, then, hey, I'm all over it. But let's dive straight on in. We are now at 8:18. Let's, first of all, if you could just give me a quick rundown of the 10 names. I only need the first names, not the last names.
Okay. Josie, Wendy, Tarsha, Charlene, Tommy, Jillian, Samantha, Matt, Kay, and Alan. No, I'm going to make that one, change Matt to Jason. I want Jason.
Okay. All right. Well, you went a little faster than I could write them down. So
okay.
It's okay.
Want me to do them again?
No, it's fine. We're going to get on, and you're going to tell me which one's coming up next. But let's dive straight on in. I want to work straight away with it's Josie, right?
Josie, yep.
Josie is number one.
Josey. Josie is a young man.
Okay. It's a guy. All right, so tell me all about Josie.
Okay. I worked for a wellness doctor, and I took this wellness doctor with me to Power Trip a year or so ago. And he said, "Yep, business looks great, Kristi. I don't want to do it, but I'll be your customer. And yes, you can talk to key patients about it." Because I wanted to talk to patients about it, but obviously I wanted to run it by him first. So Josie is actually one of our patients, and he's like 26 years old, super motivated, already owns his own steel roofing business here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Super nice guy. His wife actually used to work my position at the doctor's office, and so I've connected with them on a more personal level as well. And I just think Josie would be, he's already an entrepreneur. He already has the work ethic. He's got a wife and 2 beautiful children, so I know that he has a big why for his hard work. And I would just love to show him the plan and see if it makes sense to him.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to put an invite together based on the following 5 rules for you. For those of you who are brand new on the call, they're rules. They're really guidelines so that we know how to create an invite if someone's not around to help us. And the first thing on the list is to be in a hurry. Like, hey, if I was calling you, Kristi, I'd say, hey, Kristi, listen, I'm just about to get on a call, but I've been meaning to call you this week. So number 1 is to be in a hurry. Yep. Number 2, again, so this is for those who are listening in as well. Number 2 is to use your why, their why, or if you don't know those, to either ask for an opinion or to be kind of direct. And I'll cover that more when we get into that, when we get into number 2. Number 3 is a hook. Like, for example, if I'm inviting someone, I'd say, hey, listen, Kristi, I'm just about to get on a call, but I've been meaning to give you a call this week. You know, Max, my son, is going into college next year, and I've got to get his college funds paid for. I do not want him to come out without his college funds paid for. And I have a business project I've been working on recently that's doing super well in the DFW area, and it's going to mean that Max will come out of college without any debt. There's the hook. So I mentioned my why, and then there's the hook. Now, and then number 4, what I would then have is a takeaway. Listen, it may or may not be your thing, and that's perfectly fine. Sometimes I'll just say something like that. It may or may not be your thing. It may or may not be your thing, and that's perfectly fine. Or I may say, it may or may not be your thing, and Kristi, your friendship is more important to me than anything else. I just want you to take a look at what I'm doing. Sometimes I have a really strong takeaway because it makes people feel a lot more relaxed, but it also protects you from rejection down the line. When someone says, you know what, I really appreciate it. It's not really my cup of tea, but thanks very much for taking for showing me what we were doing. You can easily say, well, remember I said it's not for everyone, and that's awesome. I really appreciate you. I'm taking a look. It's a very small thing, but trust me, with enough people telling you no, your power is stolen so many times by people, because some people won't say no nicely. And it's very nice to be able to keep that power with you by able to say, it may or may not be your cup of tea, and that's perfectly fine. So when they reject you, you're able to say, well, you know what, I said it's not for everybody, and that's great. Perhaps you can be my customer, something along those lines. So number 1, being in a hurry. Number 2, using your why or their why. Number 3, the hook. Number 4, a takeaway. And then number 5, and this was the one I thought I was going to have to train the least on, but it's the one that I've actually had to train the most on. And that is on being a very intentional person about setting the time to visit with your particular prospect. And that, as I say, that's been kind of interesting for me. That's been, in some cases, the weaker area. Sometimes it's because people are kind of wishy-washy about setting the time, but other times it's because their posture is a little weak. Would it be possible if we could get together and that's weak, that's a weak posture. I've got Thursday and Friday free. I can see you right after lunch on Friday, or coffee around 11 on Thursday. Which one's best for you? Both are asking the same question. Both are, but one is intentional. One is like, would it? And if you said, I don't know if you're free, kind of sometime around the end of the week. I know you're really busy, but that has to go away. You cannot deal with that. And for those of you that do that naturally, I understand that, because I used to be like that. I used to have an obsequious side to my nature. And so write a nice intentional invite down and practice it. Hey, listen, I'm going to be I'm literally round the corner from you on Friday at 11:30. Would that be a good time to grab a cup of coffee with you? Really intentional. Okay. And so they're the 5 things that we work on. So based upon that, let's have a look at Josie. How do you think you would like? How does your gut feel? Say, you know, Josie, how do you feel you'd like to approach him?
I feel like that I could approach him with a why, my why and his why, and because we also have a similar faith and talked about that a bit in the office, and so I know that he values family and he values, time with them. And so I would approach him with my why, being a single mom at this point. My husband passed away 2.5 years ago, so it's now my financial responsibility, with my daughter. And granted, she's out of high school and pursuing a career of her own, but, I'm still responsible for her at this point until she, decides to, or until a career takes off. But, and he has 2 children, a beautiful wife and 2 children, and I know that, providing for his family and time with his family is also important. So,
all right. So based upon that, I agree with you. Here's something I'm a little concerned because I know you. I want you to be really prepared with your invites because I don't want you to be feeling a little nervous in your invite because I think you might get a little wordy. I think you might, sometimes when one's a little nervous with invitations, one talks too much. And this is also a reason why every invite you do, please write them down. Sorry, I interrupted you. What were you going to say?
I'm writing down as you're dictating now.
Okay.
I'm working on them now.
So you're going to call him, right?
I am going to call him.
Okay, cool.
I'm going to call him. It'll be on my way home because that's the only time that I will be able to do it tomorrow. And I'm going to tell him, hi, Josie, I'm on my way home to get some dinner going shortly and then get ready for a volleyball game tonight, but I wonder if I might have a minute of your time.
Okay.
That's my start. You have a beautiful family, and it's obvious you work hard for them. I recently started a new project that's helping me to provide financial freedom for myself and my daughter and call my time my own. And this may or may not be for you, Josie, I'm asking if he has 6 minutes to look at information. This may or may not be for you, but I don't know how to word that, Richard.
Okay, and that's fine. All right. Okay. Now here's the thing. It's our first go. Don't worry. That's what we're doing this for, is to help you with this. First of all, use language that's conversational, and be careful not to use language that you've just read out of a book. And I don't mean that in any way rude. I don't mean to be rude, but use conversational words. He's 26. He's someone you know from church. He's laid back. If I was talking to you, hey, Kristi, I want you to take a look at something I'm doing. Okay. As you know, Max is going to college, and I've been worried about getting his college funds paid. And I've got a new project, a business project I've been working on that's working out really well for me, doing really well in the DFW area. So I'm not really talking about, I know you have a beautiful family, and I know something like financial freedom would be of interest to you. It doesn't sound conversational, and you're so conversational and so lovely to chat with. That's what I'm hearing. I think you're going to need to do. So, first of all, while you're driving home, that's not being in a hurry, by the way. I think you need to be in a little bit more of a hurry. I'm just pulling in to my road. Would be pretty good. Just so I don't have to get the dinner, I'm just pulling into my road. But I've been meaning to give you a call, Josie. You know that, and tell me your why. I didn't know about your husband passing, by the way. I'm very sorry about that. But tell me about what's your specific why in 10 seconds?
My specific why is, all right, let me start over. I am solely responsible now for not only my own financial future, but for my daughter's financial future at this point. And although I work hard and I have a good job and I enjoy what I do, I need a plan B in case that changes at any point, or I choose for that to change at any point. I have to take responsibility for myself and for my family.
How old is your daughter?
Well, she's now 20. But I just started her in the business, so I'm helping her grow the business as well.
Is she at college?
She's taking acting classes. So she's
okay, all right.
Yeah.
And forgive me for asking you to be a bit vulnerable and say, Richard, mind your own business.
No, you're
good. I know where we are age-wise. Obviously, we're looking around the corner at retirement.
I could add that too.
Okay, good. All right. So you're looking towards retirement too?
Yes.
Right, me too. Okay, so I would very much be, and so guys, those of you who are listening in, it seems like I'm taking my time on this, and I am. Remember, we just need 3 by 2. Take the time to make the invite right. This Josie guy sounds like an awesome guy. And if he is someone who's going to join Kristi's business and become a senior consultant or an executive consultant, trust me, spending 5 or 10 minutes on working out the right invite and me understanding what Kristi's why is really crucial. This is what you do as an upline. It's not just like, okay, here's your list, go do it, off you go, give me a call at the end of the week. No, take the time, work together to do this. So I wanted to understand your why, Kristi. So I would say, hey, Josie, listen, I'm in the car right now. I'm just about to pull into the driveway. I've got to get dinner ready for, whatever it is. But I've been meaning to give you a call. Do you have a minute? And he's going to be like, yeah, sure, no worries. Well, as you may or may not know, obviously I'm a single mum. I work super hard, but like anybody who's kind of my age, and I know you're a little younger than me, but we have, retirement around the corner, and I need to make sure that I'm prepared for my retirement. So I've been working on a business project that has been going really, really well for me in the DFW area, and that is the truth. You are an awesome SC. You can be very proud of the business that you've built. So I would then say, and Josie, to be quite frank with you, I want you to take a look at what I'm doing, because the way it's working out for me, I think it would work out, even though you're a little younger than me, because you're very much a family man. I think this would work really well alongside what you're currently doing too. Now, it may or may not be your cup of tea, Josie, and that's perfectly fine. But I want you to take a look at what I'm doing. I respect your opinion. I've always admired what you do in your current business. And what are you doing on Friday after work around 5:30?
Okay.
Or whatever it is. Okay, so you've been in a hurry. You've used your why, because if you use your why and it touches their heart, they will listen with their heart and not with their ears. We want them listening with their heart. You also touched on his why. You can touch on that a little bit more. It doesn't sound like he has a lot of pain. It sounds like things are going well. He's a young guy. He's got a family, doing well, not a lot of pain. I would compliment him and say, look, I've always been really admired what you're doing. And you can go one of two areas. I'd like you to take a look at this, because I think this could be something that would help you. Or I might even go really direct with him and say, Josie, I've really respected the way you run a business, and I need a business partner to help me build this business the way I want it built. And I've always respected what you do. I want you to take a look at this and consider being my business partner. Very complimentary for a 26-year-old young man to hear that from a slightly more mature woman whom I'm sure he respects. So you can go one of two ways on that.
Okay.
And do you like how gentle I was with that?
Yes, I do. I really respect the way you look. Okay. We can take a look at this and see if...
now, the good thing is this is being recorded, so I'm not going to stop. And
I'll go back to it. Okay, that's fine.
We'll go back in, because obviously we've got to get through a lot.
Got it.
But as I say, it's worthwhile taking the time. You're in a hurry. Your why, his why. You can either address his why and say, I think this would be something that would really be good for you to work alongside your current business to help you build some residual income. Or I really like the idea of, I've really respected you from afar, watching you run your business, and I need to find a business partner who can help me run this business. It will be alongside what you're currently doing. It will not stop what you're currently doing. It may also not be your thing, and that's perfectly fine, Josie, but I want you to look. Remember, we're asking people to look, not to join. He will join. You're going to ask him to look. Okay?
Got it.
So we took time on that, but I think it was important. I, as your so-called sponsor, I'm not obviously your sponsor, but I need to know your why. How can I help you invite if I don't know your why? So again, those of you on the call, if you're working with other people doing purge call type work, make sure you understand everybody's why, because then you can really help them build their invite. Okay, people could build my invite because they know I'm trying to make sure I get Max's college funds paid for. They understand that. They know that. So I now know yours, Kristi, so we can work on that. All right, so that's do you have any other questions on Josie?
No, I like that. And also there are at least two more on the list of people who are patients who are businessmen that I can use this for. So that'll work out well.
Okay, great. In which case, that's 3 invites done in one. And again, for those of you who are on the call, if you have people who are like this, maybe, a young go-getter type family scenario where he's already got a business but is entrepreneurial, trust me, if someone's got their own business, they're open. I find business people are always open, even if they could just learn something or grab a little piece of information. They're always open. And remember, the most important thing is we're not asking Josie to join. We're only asking him to take a look.
Okay.
All right.
So
okay. Who are the three you're going to approach like that? We got Josie. Who else?
Josie, Tommy, and Jason.
I love it when it's a 3-in-1. In which case, I'm glad we spent the time on that. Okay, so let's move to Wendy. You want to go to Wendy?
Yeah, Wendy and Tarsha are both. I sing with them on the praise team at church, and have a closer connection with them than with others. Excuse me. Wendy she's a sales manager or some type of higher ranking person in the company where she works, and it's just very bright and very beautiful and carries herself really, really well. Tarsha is a principal at a middle school, and so obviously is really intelligent as well. I know that Wendy spends more time away from her family than she would like. And
who's that? Which one, Wendy or Tarsha?
Wendy. Wendy spends more time away from her family than she would like. And Tarsha, I know Tarsha has lost a loved one in the last year, and I don't know that she desires more time with her family, but I do know that her job is highly stressful, and she looks tired, and so I'm guessing that time freedom or increased retirement for her in light of cuts and things that are going on now with teachers and even with administrators.
How old is Tarsha?
She's probably 40s. They're both in their 40s. And they both
40s?
have children, married with children.
And old enough to be looking, thinking retirement's kind of around the corner?
I would think so, yeah. I would think probably in the next 10, 15, 20 years for either of them.
Okay. All right, well, let's talk about Wendy first.
Okay.
You have a good relationship with these girls, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. I would, again, number one, being in a hurry. Hey, Wendy, I've been meaning to give you a call. And I've been trying to get to, I'm just about to get onto a call, should I say. I'm just about to get onto a conference call, but I've been meaning to give you a call this week. Do you have a second?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that's something that I really liked that Dana did last week. I really liked his approach. Do you have a second? I thought that was kind of gentle. I didn't tend to do that. I would assume they did. But I didn't find it was lacking in posture. I found it was actually kind of respectful to say, do you have a second?
Okay.
I like that. Listen, Wendy, I've been meaning to give you a call. I know you know. Obviously, I'm a single mom. I've got a daughter who's 20 years old, and I'm assuming you're a little older than they are.
I am.
Right. And that I have retirement around the corner. I enjoy my job, but I need a plan B to make sure I'm making more than I'm earning my job, so I've got enough retirement. I've started a business project that I've been working on that's doing really well for me in the DFW area, and I've already promoted twice in the business. So that's a nice buzz. You can use wording like that as well for those of you who are SCs out there. I've already promoting well in the business. Wendy, I want you to take a look at what I'm doing for a couple of reasons. Number one, it may be something that you'd like to do too. Again, nice and gentle. It may be something you'd like to do too alongside what you're currently doing, because it's the sort of thing that can give you a time back with your family and get you home. But again, it may or may not be your thing, Wendy, and if it's not, that's perfectly fine. But I know you're really well connected, and our business is very much a networking thing. And if it's not for you, that's fine. But maybe you could introduce me to someone who would want to work in the same environment that I'm in. I'm free on Friday at lunchtime or after church on Sunday. I don't know which day is going to be best for you, but which would be good?
Okay.
Okay, so you were in a hurry. It was very nice, very friendly, again, very conversational, no dead language. And dead language is things like financial freedom and, we've got to, again, I don't want to repeat that. Just keep who you are.
Got it.
So being in a hurry, you know, you talked about your why, so she's listening with her heart. She obviously, you're good friends. You sing together. She's a fellow woman. She understands what you're going through. You know, it is a little tougher for you girls sometimes. So she'll be, you know, be a little bit of sisterhood going on. You can talk about her why. Hey, listen, it may be something. I'd like you to take a look because it may be something that you would like to look at, because I know you're looking to try and get more time at home with your kids, and this is something you can do alongside what you're currently doing. I just want you to take a look at what I'm doing. It may or may not be your thing, so there's the takeaway. And if it's not your thing, that's perfectly fine, but I know you're really well connected with some other individuals, and maybe you could connect me with some other people. Because remember, our goal is to have them look at the business, not join necessarily. Okay? And I think Tasha can be exactly the same, just replacing the why. I think you're right to group those two together. Again, being in a hurry, your why, her why, a little bit of a hook. You know, you've already promoted the business twice, or you could, you know, I don't know if it's relevant to you, but I know with some of the people in my team, there are some people who say things like, you know, this business is really working out well for me, and I'll be quitting my job within the next 6 months.
Okay.
It's a really nice hook as well. Wow, really? You'd be quitting it? Yeah, absolutely. It's not saying I have quit my job. It's saying I will be. I expect to quit my job in the next 6 months. That's a lot for people. Wow, I could quit my job. You know, that to some people that's a blessing.
Yeah.
So yeah, in a hurry, your why, her why, a nice little hook, a bit of excitement. You're making money. You've promoted. You could be quitting your job within the next 6 months. Then so there's a hook. Then the takeaway, it may or may not be your thing, Wendy/Tasha. And that's perfectly fine, because if it isn't your thing, I know you're very well connected, and maybe you could make some introductions for me for some other folks who maybe this would suit them better. Now, I'm free on Thursday. Remember, let's talk about the intentionality of setting that time. I'm free on Thursday after work, or I can actually meet you for lunch on Friday. I don't know what's going to be better for you.
Okay.
You get that? And we'll probably get a little bit more of that on the accountability calls during the week, because you're going to try these invites. And this is what happened with Dana. We prepared our invites right, but then when it came down to tying the time down, he told me exactly what he said. And he was saying the words along the lines of, would you be available? Would it be possible if, could you find 10 minutes too? And that was the type of language we didn't want. Okay. So good on that one?
Yes.
Fantastic. All right, so that's 5 invites. Wow, for the price of 2. I love it. All right, well, I don't know who's next on the list because you said them so quickly. So who is next on the list? We're at 11. We're at 8:43 right now, so we got some time.
Okay, let's go with, actually, there are 2 of them. I just added another one. Alan Easley and Doug Shelton. Alan and Doug. And Alan.
Also, by the way, just as a suggestion, don't mention second names, because someone on the call will know and Alan needs to go, hey, I know him.
I didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
Hey, no problem. Just a nice little gentle word of advice.
Okay.
Because it's probably different. It's probably something different. Yes.
Doug is the manager of the cleaning company that cleans the whole building, and I've spoken with him in person several times. I have texted him and called him. He's very responsible and very responsive, very professional, and seems to really care about his business and about doing things right in his business. And that obviously is the kind of person I'm looking for as well. So I don't know him well, other than he cleans our offices, and that's about it. If I texted him, he would say, hey, Kristi from Suite 100. And Alan actually is... Let's deal with Doug first.
Let's deal with Doug
first.
Right. I don't want to lose my train of thought. Doug, you in the way you described Doug, you were kind of also saying the invite. Sometimes, guys, if you're wondering about how to invite someone, when you're describing them, have a listen to what you're saying, because sometimes the clue is in there. The one thing I'm hearing you say about Doug is how impressed you are with him. He's responsible, professional, cares about his people, and this type of thing. And I would keep it quite businesslike, and I would be direct with Doug. I'd be like, hey, Doug, listen, I'm just about to go into a meeting right now with the doctor, or what, I don't know, whatever the right terminology would be for where you work. But I've been meaning to get in touch with you because I want to get together with you at some point to talk about some business. Okay, keep it on a business level. Again, he needs to know that as quickly as possible because you're a woman talking to a guy, and we need to make sure that any wandering minds is immediately stamped out.
Okay.
So, Doug, I'm literally just about to go into a meeting, but I've been meaning to get in touch with you because I want to get together with you for a coffee to chat about some business.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're straight there. And here's what I wanted to chat about. Aside from what I do here, I have a business project I'm working on right now that is working very well for me in the DFW area. And you may or may not need to go into your why too much because you don't know him very well.
Right.
And if you start talking about, stuff he can't relate to, we're keeping this business-like. So and I have another business project I work outside of here. And I want you to take a look at what I'm doing because the business is growing like crazy in the DFW area, and I need to work with some other business owners or some other business people like yourself. I want you to take a look at what I'm doing because I've always been so impressed with the way you take care of business here. You're very responsible, very responsive to me. You're very professional. I've always kind of admired you from afar from a business perspective. And I want you to take a look at the business that I'm working on because I think it could be something that would really work well for you. But more importantly than that, I would like you to consider being a business partner of mine. Really direct. What time do you usually finish work?
5:30.
No, that's what you're going to ask him.
Oh, you're going to ask
him. What time do you usually part of the invite? That's okay. So he's going to say, well, I'll usually finish. I'm usually real busy, but around 6 o'clock. Okay, great. Well, there's a little Starbucks around the corner here. I can meet you like at 6:45 if you finish at 6:30. I'll show you what we're doing. Hey, listen, Doug, it may or may not be your thing, and that's fine. Truly, it is absolutely fine. But I just want you to take a look at what I'm doing because I think it could be something that would really work well alongside what you're currently doing.
Okay.
So all 5 things are in there. There was a lot of information there as well. I probably would trim it down a bit.
Okay.
If I listened back to that recording, I would probably trim down what I was saying too. I can hear Michelle thinking right now, Richard, that one was too long. Richard, that one was too long. So I hear you, Michelle. I can hear you in my head. Trim it down a little bit. Listen back to the recording.
You're absolutely right.
See? I knew it.
I know Michelle has my back, so I'm sure she'd call me or text me and say, you got to trim that one down, Kristi.
Yeah, exactly. And so this is what I'm doing. When I'm working with my downline or whatever, we're going through these invites, and sometimes they start out a little longer than we expected, and then we kind of trim back the fat and we trim it back down to the perfect one. Again, we take the time because we only need 3 good people. You find 3 good people and duplicate what you're doing with them, and your business will grow like crazy. And you'll win those people because your invite is respectful. Wouldn't it be a shame if you didn't take a look because you messed up the invite?
Yeah.
That would be a real shame. So don't let the invite be the reason why they don't look. So I think that's awesome. Would you think Alan is similar?
Alan is similar. He actually was a patient of ours, or it just came in once, but he has a business in the same, he has a suite next to us, and so in the same building. And when I see him, in the building or in the hall, we say hello. That's about it. But I know that he has a full-time job and this business. And so that leads me to believe that he is motivated, at least works hard, and perhaps would be motivated to free up some of his time and, and perhaps get rid of one or both of those other endeavors.
It's the only people who are thinking, wow, he wouldn't have time for this, are people who don't have 2 jobs. Trust me, I've had 5 businesses before. In fact, when I looked at the AMBIT business, I had 5 businesses going, and it never was a consideration I don't have time for the AMBIT business. It's like, how great is, I want to find out about this AMBIT business. And I saw it and it made sense to me. I didn't even think about the time. The right people, especially business owners, won't worry about the time. The only people who usually worry about the time are the clock watchers, are the ones who are at work at 9 and want to get out of there at 5 o'clock, and they do not want anything to interrupt their Dancing with the Stars or their, X Factor or whatever. Don't worry about that. The right people will not worry about the time. Sometimes they'll offer a concern, and we'll address that concern. But no, they'll be absolutely fine on that. So I would go with Alan, same thing. Make sure you're in a hurry when you talk to him. Talk about you started a business project. You want to talk to him about it. And again, compliment him about it. Hey Alan, I'm in a little bit of a hurry right now, but and this is a slightly unusual request, but I'd like to talk to you about some business at some point. Go grab some coffee. Reason being is outside of what I'm doing here. I have a business project I'm working on right now that is growing really, really well in the DFW area. And part of what I do is increasing the size of my network. I want you to take a look at what I'm doing. It may be something actually that would work alongside. There may be some synergy with this business and your business. He's a business owner, so synergy is a good word for someone like him. There may be some synergy in the businesses. There may be some synergy in the businesses. I don't know if it's going to be your cup of tea at all, and this is why I want to meet with you, so you can take a look at what I'm doing. But even if it's not, I know you're really well connected with other folks and other people, and you could maybe make some introductions for me. I don't know what time you finish work, but I usually finish around 5:30, and there's a Starbucks literally just around the corner here. Let me buy you a coffee, take a look at what we're doing, see if it makes sense to you, or just see if it makes sense to you. That's how I would do it. Again, trimming it down a little bit. So I'm going to post this. Once I finish this call, I'll post it up on the EC Riders. You can listen back, write it down, trim down the fat. And I think that'll be everything there. Okay? All right. So we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 invites in. And we're going to do the other 3 invites, if it's okay with you, during the week. On the accountability call that we do, only because we've got 8 minutes left. I don't like to rush the end of this call because I want to make sure I have a quick chat with everybody out there. So was there any questions you had for me, Kristi, before we go?
No, I'm excited. I want to get to work now, but it's 9 o'clock.
Trust me, you are going to have your best week in AMBIT next week. Remember, the big guy upstairs.
It's been doubly blessed. So yeah.
Now, all we're going to do, Kristi, by the way, all we're going to do, not on this call right now, but we are going to arrange a time when we have our accountability call. And so again, for those of you on the call who are listening in, if you have accountability partners, please make sure that you set the time aside for that accountability call. Because no accountability call, you've got an excuse not to make the calls. Kristi, tomorrow you have to call me at a certain time, so you're much more likely to make the calls. You're going to make them anyway. I know you are. But it's nothing like an added incentive that there's going to be 100 people sitting and waiting for that recording to come up tomorrow night. So you better make the calls. All right.
No, I'll make the calls.
I know you will. Trust me, I know you will. Kristi, thank you so much for getting on the call tonight. I really do appreciate that. And I appreciate you being so open and vulnerable and being prepared to share everything about you with us so we can understand what's going on. And I will text with you after this call so we can arrange the time when we do our accountability call. Is that okay?
Okay. Yes, thank you for choosing me as a victim. I'm honored.
Oh, well, please.
And excited.
No, I've been wanting to have you as a victim for a while, so this is awesome. Okay, great.
Right.
Well, thanks so much again, Kristi. All right, for you lot out there who are listening in, hold on a couple of seconds. I'm just going to have a slurp of my tea. Hold on. Lovely cup of tea. Nothing like a nice cup of tea. Okay, for you chaps all listening in, again, don't please be sitting back, just putting your feet up going, yeah, this is all interesting. Be proactive. Have your list out. Work on your invites. If you have any questions, text me, 214-766-4613, 214-766-4613, or reach me on Facebook or whatever. I'll always do the best I can to help you with that. Assign time in your calendar. I know there's a bunch of you on this call. We've got a really good call today. I know a lot of you are employed, so you'll be at work from 8:30 to 5 o'clock or whatever. You'll have a working lunch. If you don't assign the time to make one of your invites in the morning and maybe one at lunchtime, if you don't do it, you won't do it. So please make sure you assign the time aside for the invites that you're going to be creating today. If you don't get all 10 invites created today, just make sure you've got enough for the next couple of days, and then build the other invites during the week with your accountability partners, and they'll get that figured out for you. But do this one thing. Please make sure you tune in to the recordings of the accountability calls that I'm going to be doing with Kristi during the week. So we've set up our week today, and then tomorrow we'll have an accountability call, and I will edit it and put it up on EC Riders either that same night or as early as I can the following morning, so you chaps can have me accompanying you on the way into work. It's probably the last one. It's me rabbiting on in your ear at 7 o'clock in the morning. But it's a good opportunity for you to be listening to how the accountability calls and this type of thing go, because I have to tell you, the best coaching opportunities are when Kristi's made a call and it didn't go right, or it went brilliantly, or there was something kind of unusual, or she messed an invite up, or whatever those things are. They're great opportunities, and because we all mess up, and what we want to do is know how to solve it when we mess up, and that's what we do on those accountability calls. So with that being said, guys, thanks very much for getting on the call. Just real briefly, EC Riders will be having our team call on Wednesday night. It's on the same number as this one. It's also advertised on the Facebook page. So make sure you get in on that. If you don't have your own team call, by all means, come on to ours. Also, of course, I mentioned the big training happening on November the 5th. It is an awesome training. We've got a very slightly a different format. There's going to be less trainers there, more time with each trainer, and much more interactivity with the audience. We've got a lot of big plans for that training. Get yourself trained, guys, especially if you're new in the business. Everybody should be at training anyway. But if you're new in the business, if you're learning to ride a bike, you need Dad there to hold the saddle for you and help you learn to ride the bike. It's exactly the same thing. I don't know why people would think that they can go out there and suddenly run an AMBIT business without training. Could you do that in your job? I don't think so. So get to the training. All the details, again, are on the EC Riders Facebook page. That being said, it's going to be on November the 5th. It's from 9:30 in the morning. It's a Saturday, 9:30 in the morning to 4 p.m. at night. Speakers are going to be all executives: Chris Brooks, David Belmar, Jared Abshire. Some brand new who've just come back from the Hawaiian 5-star trip, Stephen and Danielle Lee, fantastic trainers, brand new perspective on the business. Then we have Mr. Electric, Kevin Cochran, of course, myself, and Doug Parker. But our special guest is national consultant, yellow jacket wearer, as in a millionaire earner, Henry Yee, the national consultant. And he's been on pretty much every 5-star trip that has been out since he's been in the business. The guy is unbelievably amazing, and he's going to give a whole new set of training that you will not have heard before, and it's from up north, so you'll get some of the tricks they have up north blended with some of the stuff we do down south. And that, again, is, as I say, going to be on November the 5th from 9:30 to 4 p.m. And then all I have to say after that is, obviously, the national call is happening right after this call. Guest speaker is Ray Monty, and, of course, he's always wonderful to listen to. The dial-in number for that is 712-432-7570. The PIN is 848-77#. Again, the telephone number 712-432-7570. The PIN is 84877#. Ray Monty's just got his $10 million jacket. So this guy knows what he's talking about. It's a fantastic way to set up your week. You've just set up your calendar. You've just set up your invite. Now have a listen to Ray, who's going to get you ready for the week. Guys, thank you so much for plugging in and listening in to the call and listening to me drone on and on and on. I really appreciate it. Listening to the accountability calls during the week, and I will see you all for the next Purge call with Kristi when we go through her list again and debrief on what we did on the next Sunday Purge call. Guys, have a great Sunday evening and have a great AMBIT week. I'll see you all soon. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.